This is Tuesday, the 17th day of April, 2018. In attendance today are Commissioner Gibson to my right, Commissioner Ebert to my left, and I'm Commissioner Harvey. We welcome especially today many guests from our Da Vinci Academy. Holy mackerel, we're glad. Give yourselves a hand. Wow. We're really glad that you're here, and we hope that this will be a good experience for you. This morning, our invocation will be given by Zachary Dam, and our Pledge of Allegiance by Miss Stacy Skeen, and then our thought for the day will be given by Commissioner Gibson.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to have Commissioner Ebert give our prayer.
Our kind, gracious Heavenly Father, we humbly bow our heads this day in prayer to give thanks for the amazing blessings we have in living in this country. We're grateful for the liberties that it affords us. We ask this that we'll live our lives in a manner that we may be able to exercise those liberties, and that as government entities, we will protect them at all times. We're grateful for our community and for the wonderful members of this community, and we ask that you bless them with safety and health. We are truly today grateful for our youth, for those who are attending today, and we ask that you will strengthen, lead, and guide them in all things. We humbly ask for your direction today, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I have to just smile at those kids. That was awesome to hear the Pledge of Allegiance, hear them recite it with such youthful vigor, and even the amen to the prayer. Just a great thing to see all these youth in our group today. We're thankful for you coming. Hope you enjoy it. Hope it's not too boring for you. As far as my thought of the day, I'm going to keep the pattern of last time of keeping it really light and just kind of having some fun with it today. But this is a book that I've used from time to time. It's called Life's Little Instruction Book, and it's just a few little short quips that kind of keeps me smiling when sometimes you wonder if you ought to be. Some of them are just funny, and some of them are pretty good, solid comments. But here's one. It says, turn enemies into friends by doing something nice for them. When hiring, give special consideration to anyone who's been an Eagle Scout. Be friendly to the janitor, just as friendly to the janitor as you are to the chairman of the board. And never buy anything electrical at a flea market. Last but not least, remember, a person that is foolish with money is foolish in other ways too. And last but not least, if you want to do something and you feel in your bones that it's the right thing to do, do it. Intuition is often as important as the facts. So anyway, just some fun ones to think about as we go throughout our day.
Wonderful. Thank you, Commissioner. This morning's a special day, not just because we have you as guests, but we also have some very special guests with us today. This morning we have what we call our Crystal Bowl Awards. Our Crystal Bowl Awards are given to folks in the community, people or businesses in the community who do service for other people. They actually go and do things for other people without expecting to get any pay. They just do it because they like to. They do it because it's in their heart. They want to serve or give back to others. This morning, we have two Crystal Bowl Awards to be given out today. Our first Crystal Bowl Award we're going to give it to a couple. The couple we've chosen for the Crystal Bowl Award this year is E. Rich and Jane Brewer. Let me just tell you a little bit about Rich and Jane. I've known Rich and Jane for a lot of years of my life. They're good people. They've given back to the community and especially youth for a long time. They've participated in many Ogden Weber Chamber Awards. In fact, they've been the recipient of the
Wall of Fame.
Well, that's what the Wall of Fame, but I want to explain that in a different term. They're recognized by the business leaders as being probably the most outstanding couple in the land, at least in our land. They've also been involved with business development out in North Ogden City, where they reside. I know that the Brewers have been involved with the McKay-D Foundation, and Jane especially. You know, as I've watched Rich for decades, quietly serving, has been Jane, his wife, and done a lot of great good. They've been involved with our Ogden Pioneer Days, which is the big rodeo in the summertime that many of you see or know about, and some of you have come to the parade, and they've been involved in that before. They've been involved as I've mentioned, the McKay-D Foundation and Weber Development Corporation. That brings a lot of new businesses into town, so your moms and dads will have places to work. That's how they think, well, how did that business get started? Well, it's because there are people like the Brewers that help bring those business dads to town, so they hire people. They've been involved with our Ogden Industrial Corporation, our Union Station, and many of you know the Union Station. That's where all the trains and things are. They've been involved with our Egyptian Theater, which, by the way, is where they have plays and concerts and dinners and all kinds of fun things. Many of you have been over to that Ogden Egyptian Conference Center or the Peary's Egyptian Theater downtown. They've also been involved out at the Golden Spike Event Center, where they've been involved in boards out there, and many other duties. The list can go on, and we can probably spend days talking about your service. But I think the one thing that I wanted to point out that I've been most impressed with is the service that they've given to one another as a couple. And I want you to know, Rich and Jane, that I appreciate that example, because you've shown us what truly is the most important, and that's honoring one another. So, will all of you join me in a round of applause for Rich and Jane Brewer, please? Before we show you what the Crystal Bowl Awards do or have or what their ability are, I'd like for just a brief moment, let's do that. Let's go to the Crystal Bowls and let's do that. Our Crystal Bowls have a unique ability to amplify and produce sound and make a beautiful, pure, resonating, long-lasting type of a sound. Just as these people have had a pure, resounding impact or sound throughout the community. So what I'd like to do at this time is show you by example how that works. Now, I don't know necessarily that I'll have you try this at home. You need a special kind of bowl to make this work. But Shelley, will you come and show the group here how this works? Let's lift up the bowl so they can. It's a bowl that's similar to this. Okay.
Pretty cool.
It's kind of like our own little Lord of the Rings thing.
Keep talking like that, these kids are gonna think we're cool.
No.
At this time, again, Rich and Jane, would you mind giving us a few words here up at the podium?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you very much for recognizing us. We're not the only people in the community, but following the example of my parents and my grandparents, my grandfather Rich, whom I'm named after, Edward I. Rich, received this award, not this exact award, from Bud Favero and the commissioners many years ago. And my grandfather Alex Brewer was mayor of Ogden years ago when he was on the shooting team with the Browning brothers called the 4Bs. But I'd just like to say I've had a good example from a lot of people in the community. I'd like to mention two. One of them was John A. Lindquist and Dean Moore. And I had the privilege of working with them when we were recruited Kimberly Clark and a lot of these companies into the industrial park, and it was a great satisfaction. One of the things that I really enjoyed that Jim didn't mention was during the Olympics, Jane and I were the venue chairman for Snow Basin over all the activities at Snow Basin, and we had some great volunteers. We spent 3 years before to recruit people to be on the hill, and it was really a wonderful experience. We entertained all the VIPs. Jane got to know the president of Austria. We have some good pictures of her, and it was just very satisfying. And another thing I'm very proud of is when we got ready to build the new McCady Hospital, they asked me to be the fundraise chairman. And they said, if you can raise $7 million, we'll build the hospital. Well, I got some of my friends together, and we raised $17 million. And that's why we have such a beautiful hospital. And I was proud to be the chairman of the board when they opened the hospital. But we have a wonderful hospital in Ogden. I know because I've been taking cancer treatments there now for a couple of years, and I'm really proud of it. And it's a wonderful thing. And Jim, I enjoyed being on the Fairgrounds Committee with you, and I have a great deal of love and respect for each one of you gentlemen for being in Rotary. I guess it's family tradition, and I had the time to work for the community. And don't let anybody kid you. I went to Polk School. Jane and I went to Polk School. We went to Ogden High School. We both graduated from the University of Utah. When I graduated, I was commissioned a lieutenant in the Marine Corps, and I served 2 years, and I came home and I was a commanding officer of the Marine Corps Reserve, and I got out in 4 years as a captain, and I was pretty proud of that. So I'm proud of the fact that I served my country, I've served my community, I've served the church, and I have a wonderful family. Jane and I have been married for 64 years, and she always reminds me of 62 years. But I'm great to live in a community where everybody has a chance to participate. We have wonderful schools. I'm so proud of all you young people being here, and thanks for this award. And I'll make sure we keep earning it. Thank you very much.
Well, I kind of feel like I've just worked on Rich's coattails. He's done so many wonderful things, and I've had so many wonderful opportunities, and A lot of it's because I followed the example of my father and my mother, who were both very active in the community. And it's just something you just assume that you do. Some of these wonderful opportunities come naturally, some you kind of look for. And you young people, as you grow, you should look for opportunities to serve your community. And I know you will, and I know there are so many opportunities left. I think the one thing I enjoyed that I really had kind of dropped in my lap was the North Ogden City Library, which is now going to open, remodeled and renewed, and I'm so thrilled with that opportunity. I've had the opportunity to serve Weber State for a lot of years. I was in the Junior League of Ogden, and there were lots of service opportunities there. I kind of coattailed on a lot of the things that Rich has already said that he's done, and I was just a part of that. And so there's just been wonderful opportunities wherever you go, and they're limitless, and they never end. So thank you so much for honoring us. I just think this is a marvelous bowl. I'm so excited about that. So thank you so much, and happy to see all you young people here. Thanks.
Thank you. What we'd like to do quickly is get a quick picture with you, if we could. Would that be all right?
You bet.
Thank you. All right?
You bet.
Do you want to have them in the little?
This little plaque says presented to Edward Rich and Jane H. Brewer in appreciation for your service to Weber County 2018. So, Rich, why don't you hold this? There you go. Jane's on the bowl.
1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll do one more. Maybe if I take my finger off. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks again. Okay. Beautiful. Our next presentation is
Chairman, if you don't mind, can I just say something about Rich before
Yeah.
I have to drone on for just a second. I just want these kids to know, you look at a couple like this, and they've done some cool things. They've done big things in the community, libraries and Olympics and businesses and $27 million for hospitals and done big things. You heard that. But one of the cool things is, even cooler than all those big things, are the little things. Are there any of you that really just like to be told, good job, I like you, you do good work? And that to me is the thing that Mr. and Mrs. Brew better than just about anything. They are the type of people that can look at just about anybody and see good in them. And I cannot be any more thankful for the opportunity that I've had to have Rich and Jane put their arms on me and show faith and courage and lift me up and tell me, good job. And because of that, their influence is multiplied 1,000 times, because it wasn't just me. It was lots and lots of individuals. So they're the type of people that have spent time with governors and presidents of nations, but they took a little punk kid and took him under their wing and made him feel important. And I want to tell you thank you for that. And Jane, I just got to say to you, you may think you rode his coattails, but I know how it works. You were gently nudging behind the scenes, probably working most of the time to make sure that he could stand there and do the things that he needed to do. And I know that he knows it too. So thank you. I just love you both. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Our next Crystal Bowl presentation is given today to a company that began in 1988 in a little basement outside of Ogden, Utah. Now it's grown to be a global leader in B2B and B2C services. Their dominance in the industry caught the attention of the Omnicom Group, leading to their acquisition in 2002, providing them with access to hundreds of the world's top marketing service partners and relationships that enable us to provide services globally to B2B and B2C services. Today, MarketStar is still the leader in sales as a service, providing flexible sales solutions for the world's leading and emergency companies such as HP, Microsoft, Google, AdRoll, Pinterest, and the list goes on and on and on. Many of the things that you all know and see. They've used their skilled sales and marketing professionals with industry-proven go-to-market tools and intelligent to help clients accelerate sales and achieve market dominance. Now, this is how the company gets started and moves forward. But another great thing that MarketStar does is they get all of their workers together, about 650 to 700 of them, and they take a day and they go and help facilities at Weber County, providing literally thousands and thousands of hours to help facilities do things like, for instance, build fat bike tracks, or paint things, or take care of things, or do some weeding, or limbing, or pruning, or I shouldn't say a million, but thousands of other little projects. They do all of this without a charge. It just helps you. So we have with us today a gentleman by the name of Phil Mickey, who represents MarketStar. Phil, if you wouldn't mind coming forward. And for all of you, would you please give, on behalf of MarketStar, on behalf of the county, would you mind recognizing MarketStar and Phil Mickey for their great work and their volunteering? Mr. Mickey.
Mr. Harvey, Commissioner Harvey, sorry. So here's something that's interesting about Weber County. Rich and Jane, who've meant so much to the county, mean a lot to my wife's family. And I know them. I don't know if they remember me, the Williams family up in North Ogden. But that's what's great about Weber County. I'm a South Ogden boy. And Weber County, you have an opportunity to interact with people you've known, you didn't know you knew, I guess. Even Commissioner Harvey grew up with my grandfather. So, but for MarketStar...
Hold on. Wait, we didn't grow up together?
Okay. Yeah. Yes, my great-grandfather grew up with him. No, but it's the great thing about Weber County. It is a very family-oriented group. It is about a group of people that do come together and stick together. For MarketStar, we've been a part of this now for 30 years. And Weber County is our home. It's always been our home. And we continue to grow that. The building over here on 24th in Washington, we've got now a big group in the American Canning building, and we hope to keep going. And the other thing we love about Weber County is it's an opportunity to move forward. You know, I'm looking at your mission statement here on the wall, and the one here on the side, continuous improvement. MarketStar, that's what we're about, is bringing new jobs to Weber County. Hopefully jobs that some of these guys out here can have, jobs with Pinterest or Twitter and some of these new these new big companies that a lot of people just don't know that they have employees here in Weber County. We're thrilled. I'm thrilled to be here with my friends from Weber County Parks and Rec who've just been great to work with us. We love Weber County. We always have. We've been here for so long, and we continue to be here. I wish our president and our chief operating officer could be here today, but they are off visiting potential clients, which is a good thing, which means they're bringing more jobs here to Weber County with some, if I could tell you the brands that they're talking to right now, you'd bring smiles to your face, but we'll keep it at that. So, but we thank you. We will be here just in a couple of weeks. We're going to be out adding to that million things that Commissioner Harvey wants us to get to up in North Fork and out at Golden Spike. But Weber County it's who we are. It's who we're part of. We plan to be here for a very long time, and we're just so very grateful that we can, as a company, walk in the footsteps that the Brewers have created before us, and hopefully we can inspire some other kids to do some things down the road. But thank you very much. We are thrilled for this.
Thank you, Mr. Mickey. Will you join me in giving him a round?
Of course. Please don't do that. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, got 2 more phones here. That's 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Very good. Well, we'll be moving on with our commission agenda. Item number F on our agenda is excuse me just a moment. We have one more presentation today, the Annual Victims of Crime Act Grant Report for the 2017 and 2018 grant year. Ms. Pitt.
Thank you. For our grant, we have to report on our program twice a year. So, good morning. I'm Jamie Pitt, and this is Jessica Willis. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're 2 of the victim witness coordinators with Weber County. We work under a grant with the Utah Office for Victims of Crime, and we'd like to share with you some of our recent achievements and developments with our program. The types of services that we provide, this is a brief job description of what our victim witness coordinators do. We evaluate all cases that come to our office, and we identify all the crime victims that need to be notified. We notify crime victims of their rights and upcoming court appearances in their cases. We notify and refer victims to agencies who can provide assistance to them based on their individual needs. We schedule appointments with the prosecuting attorneys and assist in victim preparation and trial testimony. We attend victims' needs while waiting to testify in court and provide and support victims through the entire process. We also work with victims regarding restitution amounts and payments. We keep statistical records for our grant reports and prepare grant applications. answer telephone calls, respond to technical and procedural questions, and we perform related duties as required. Some of our categories that we work under in our office are as follows: child abuse and sexual abuse, domestic violence, adult sexual assault, driving under the influence, driving while intoxicated, and DUIs with deaths. We help survivors of homicide victims, such as the family of the homicide victim, assaults, adults molested as children, elder abuse, robbery and burglary, other violent crimes, stalking and harassment, arson, human trafficking, identity fraud, kidnapping, mass violence, and other property crimes. During the last 6 months, we have helped and assisted 809 victims in these categories. Over the last 6 months, our numbers are as follows. We've helped 58 domestic violence victims, 59 victims of child sexual assault, 86 victims of burglaries and robberies. We have also assisted 2 families of survivors of homicide cases. Those are just to name a few. Our program accomplishments is we are sitting on a committee that helps raise funds for the YCC, Footsteps to Light, and our annual law enforcement training that we participate in every year. The coalition is working hard to raise funds for both the YCC and the Domestic Violence Coalition. And we work towards putting this money towards helping victims of domestic violence. Gang-related crimes continue to be a big problem in Weber County and make up a large percentage of our burglary, vehicle burglary, robbery, assault, and homicide cases. Last year, we filed 11 murder cases. 3 of those were gang-related homicides. Last year, we were also able to close one of our murder cases, Guberto Harris Corrales. This case has been around since 2008. It was a domestic violence case where the victim's live-in boyfriend killed her. First, he burned down her trailer in Layton, which luckily she was not home at the time with her 3 children. Over the next 5 days, he would call her over 500 times a day. On Christmas Day, he found her at a motel in Ogden, took her up to the Cemetery Point in Huntsville, and stabbed her over 31 times. The case went to trial in October of last year, and he was convicted and sentenced to 15 years to life in the Utah State Prison. It was great to be able to finally close this case and give closure to the family. This, on my left, is Rubix. Rubix has been with our office for almost a year now. We call her Ruby. She is a certified facility dog who has had over 2 years of training as a service animal. She has been a huge asset to our victim assistance program. She provides comfort to many children and vulnerable adult victims, as well as most of our staff in our office. Ruby has been able to approved to accompany child victims in the witness box while they testify. Her handler, Jessica, takes her to child welfare hearings at the juvenile court upon request, and she is also able to go to any other police agency in Weber County and assist them on any of their cases. So, are there any questions?
Great report. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Your numbers are impressive. Commissioners, any comments?
Thank you, Jessica, for handling Rubik's and being willing to do this. I got a little bit of a close-up on this just because, as you remember, my former assistant, Paige, used to work in this same assignment, and she was just touched by the opportunity she had to work with people and help them through the most difficult time in their lives. And I just can only imagine how difficult it would be to have to see some of this, but by the same token, how rewarding I think it would be to be able to help in that way. And so I think it takes a special person to do this job, and I'm just grateful that you're there and that you do it with such goodness and grace. And just thank you. I want to let you know how much we appreciate your effort.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Just more things that we're doing here in Weber County. Now we'll move to item F on our agenda, which is our consent items. Commissioners, item number 4 is being held. Item number 1 is a request for approval of warrants 1406 to 1407 and 427340 to 427524 in the amount of $850,440.12. Item 2 is a request for approval of purchase orders in the amount of $122,054.33. Item 3 is a request for approval of the minutes for the meeting held on April 10th, 2018. Again, item 4 is held, and item 5 is a request for consideration or action to request for the approval of a road dedication in the Berg subdivision, a 2-lot subdivision located at 3156 West and 1800 South in West Weber. Item number 6 is a request from Weber County Tax Review Committee with input from legal counsel for approval of a refund in the amount of $586.46 to Alan and Darcy Brown, parcel number 13129-0016. Item 7 is a request for approval to set the date of April 24th at 10 a.m. for a public hearing regarding amendments to the opening of the capital budget of Weber County for the 2018 calendar year. And item number 8 is a request for approval of a retirement agreement by and between Weber County and Dave Wilson. Commissioners, any comments or questions? Mr. Hatch.
Good morning. This past week, Weber County issued 20 purchase orders for the amount of $122,000. 58% of that, or $70,000, is for the library, and this is good for our Da Vinci kids because you'll get to enjoy a lot of this summer. The bulk of that purchase order is to purchase summer reading supplies, so make sure you get to the libraries a whole bunch this summer. You'll get to enjoy those. 15% or $19,000 is for our IT department, and that is server room cooling maintenance services. 9% or $11,000 is for the health department, and that's going towards vaccines. We issued 187 checks this week for $850,000. 37% of that amount, or $311,000, were RAMP award distributions that went to Roy City, primarily for the 2017 awards, but they also closed out a major award from 2014. 23% or $198,000 is also for the library. This is for the North Branch construction. 10% or $87,000 was for the jail, and that went to food, utilities, and inmate clothing. And then 11% or $90,000 was for employee and retiree insurance.
Terrific. Thank you, Mr. Hatch. I've got one thing just to comment on these consent items, and it's with regards to Dave Wilson. In my 25 years here at Weber County, Dave Wilson has been an incredible mentor, man, confidant, a fantastic civil attorney, a trainer, a friend. He's just a really good man, and he's warned us that this day would be coming. Boy, has he given out great advice. He's considered one of the great civil attorneys in the state of Utah, and Weber County's been exceptionally lucky to have him. So it should be with gladness that we say, hey, Dave, good luck and enjoy your retirement. But it's I just can't tell you enough of my appreciation for Dave and what he's done. And so, Commissioners, with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move that we adopt the consent items.
We have a motion by Commissioner Gibson,
Second.
a second by Commissioner Ebert. I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hey, well, that's great.
They're practicing already, aren't they?
Heard the nays. We didn't have a bunch of nays. We may have some nays.
Nay.
Almost unanimous.
Yeah. Seeing no action items today, Commissioners. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm a little ahead of myself. That kind of got me distracted. Thanks. Are there any nays? That's what a billy goat says, I think, isn't it? Okay, we don't have any goats. That's great. All in favor? Aye. I said that. I just wanted to hear it again. Great. Okay, we don't have any action items today. I will remind you that at 11 o'clock today, our Catholic Community Services is opening up a new storage area. Well, that's just here in just a few minutes out on F Avenue. At 2 o'clock, we're unveiling our economic development plan up at Weber State. For those of you who are looking to where to park for that, it's parking lot number A like Alpha 2. And it'll be held just on the east side of that new Lindquist Hall, which is the construction site located there on the northwest corner of the campus. At 6 o'clock tonight, over at the Ogden Eccles Conference Center, again in the northwest corner of that building, will be our State of the County. You're all welcome to come to that as well. And so, State of the County, yeah. That takes us to item number G, our public comments. If you would limit your comments to 3 minutes, anyone who's interested in coming to the mic can do so.
Hello, Commissioners. I'm just really excited that we have Da Vinci here, and I wanted to recognize that. There's one of them that's super special to me. And also let the teachers know that their artwork is displayed on the top floor around the little, whatever that is, if they want to go up there and see it on there, up there. So that's it. Thank you.
The one super special, please stand up, please. All right, congratulations.
Thank you. Are there any others? Would you state your name, please?
Yes. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Ron Gleason. I reside in the unincorporated area of Huntsville. Just wanted to take a minute of everyone's time to either remind or let people know that April 15th through the April 21st is designated International Dark Sky Week by the International Dark Sky Association. This event was started back in 2003 by high school students, and one of the objectives was to draw attention to concerns and possible problems with light pollution and promote simple solutions to mitigate them. Weber County in the state of Utah has taken leadership roles in establishing dark sky parks, education programs, and in specific cases of Ogden Valley, groundbreaking county-level ordinances to address lighting and signs. Just a couple of highlights. We're all aware of the North Fork Park accreditation a number of years ago. I want to point out that the accreditation activities, to the best of our knowledge, is the only park in the state which is being done purely by volunteers. When we look at the other states, it's either employees of states or the federal government. The planning group was instrumental in helping draw up the ordinance, but also has continued to work hard to create awareness and education and materials to hand to people that are getting building permits and to do continued awareness and education. And we appreciate that. We've continued to do awareness and education in the valley at different events, whether it's the Moonlight Glides, the Sweaty Yeti, and also coming up on the 28th of April. Want to make sure that you folks and also all the people from Da Vinci are aware that there will be a Moonlight Walk up at North Fork Park. We'll have DWR. There'll be night watch, hawk watch there with some animals, and we'll also, and when the full moon comes up, hopefully see migrations of the birds going across the full moon. Looking forward, all the state parks in the Wasatch Back hope to be accredited by the end of 2018, following the lead of North Fork Park and also Antelope Island. The International Dark Sky Conference will be held in Snowbird in November of this year, based upon the activities of Weber County. Even though we couldn't get it in Weber County, it's close, and also the state of Utah. And this week, a website is launching called the Great Western Starry Way, which will show the 660 parks from Glacier to Grand Canyon National Park that people can visit. The Wasatch Front and North Fork Park is right in the middle and has a wonderful opportunity to take advantage of the people who will be traveling across these states to stay here and get the economic development. These are some great accomplishments and I think great activities, though we can't rest with the development going on in the whole county, but also Ogden Valley. We have to make sure that the ordinances are followed and also enforced. Also, the requirements for accreditation are always reviewed and changing and are getting more strict, so we have to make sure we keep the light pollution down. I believe that Weber County has the ability to maintain leadership within the state and county, and most importantly, reap the economic benefits from the facilities we have at North Fork Park and other parts of the county, and also the tourism activities that's involved with them, and specifically with some of the astrotourism and the dark skies. Many of us will continue to work hard, and will continue to ask you, the county commission and the other groups within the county for your continued support and the endeavors of the awareness and education. We also ask when you are interacting with and speaking with your peers that you continue to spread the message of the dark skies and the benefits. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gleason. Is there anyone else? Okay, sweetheart, you can come forward.
Wait.
I noticed that,
You have to state your name. This is
yeah.
And where you're from?
I'm Melanie Garcia. And, wait, do I have to say where I'm from?
Yep.
what city?
I'm standing in the city right now.
Sometimes it's just dumb what we have to remember and repeat, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You're doing
Speak
good.
now?
You can speak now. You're doing
Okay.
good.
I noticed that people has been like throwing garbage everywhere and it's been polluting everywhere. So like when I walk into Salt Lake City, I smell everything is like getting polluted and some people cannot breathe and some people is getting asthma or something like that. So it's what is it called again? Comedy of the Tragedians? Comedy of the Tragedians? Something like that, I don't remember. But, because, like, people have been throwing garbage and saying, oh, someone else would pick it up, but then it starts, like, going up into the air and polluting our whole city. So it would probably be our job to clean up this place, or else things will start being bad and like smoke would be everywhere and people will start getting asthma. That's what I noticed.
Thank you. So is that important to you?
Mm-hmm. I want clean air.
Thank
That's what other people wants too.
Okay. Thank you.
Good.
Well done. Well said, girl.
All right, young man, come on forward. Yeah, you.
So my name is Damian Joseph Frigolato. I'm actually from here, Utah, and what I've been noticing is that every time I come home from after school, the news is always on, and I've been noticing that it's been all about the gun violence that have been happening. So it's been a big problem to me since I've heard about the shooting in Florida, and a lot of people have been protesting it, and I've been agreeing with them. So I don't know why there are gun violences. I don't know what they would be for, but the gun violences are just really important to me because I actually go to church and it just breaks my heart to see and hear gun violence is happening.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yes.
We agree.
So I really just wish that you, the county, can help end it.
Okay. Well, we'll work on that. We'll continue to work on that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else? Holy mackerel. Okay, we're going to make a new little rule here, though. We're going to take two more. And so this young man who was coming up and politely, you right there, and one other one. You right on the front row, young lady. If you'll just come right behind him, and then we'll end. While he's coming up, folks, I also want to recognize, and you just mentioned governmental thing. We have a past senator in the state of Utah here with us today, Mr. Scott Jenkins. If you'll raise your hand, will you give him a round of applause? All right, young man, you're up.
My name is Ryan and I'm from Utah.
Good.
Okay. When I was like 7, my parents turned on the TV, and it was about pollution in the air, and it said 2,525 people died by the air. And so, and then it's so like, there was like a lot of like factories new where they died. And then the president started talking about that it's very bad, that he didn't see that all those factories were just polluting the air. He didn't see that. I don't remember when at all. Sorry.
So you're talking about things you can't see in the air that are pollutants? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, and it's killing like a ton of people.
Thank you.
It's embarrassing and very sad.
Yes, it is. Thank you for your comments. All right.
Thank you.
We'll take this last comment right here.
Hi, my name is Bella Medellin. I am from North Ogden, Utah. About the gun violence. Those are people that don't have the permits of guns. Right now, I am working on my hunter safety so I can go hunting.
Good for you.
And when I just heard of this, I was really like, wait a minute, hold on. These are people these are people without gun permissions, sort of. And I just want to demonstrate that it's just that their minds are because they're like, yeah. So,
well said. Well said.
Yeah.
So we need to work on their minds and help them, huh? Well, thank you for your comments. I think when we help work on their minds, it goes back to what Commissioner Gibson said earlier, and that's the example that Rich and Jane Brewer, they always said, hey, good luck, and gave you a positive comment. So I think it's always really important to give nice words to each other. That'll help a long ways. Wouldn't you say that'd be helpful?
Yes.
That'd be great. Well, thank you. All right, commissioners.
Mr. Chair, real quick before we adjourn, I think it might be interesting for these kids to know that if they go to Weber County's YouTube channel, they can watch this all over again if they want. These kids were famous on YouTube, so enjoy that this afternoon. Just suck up all the bandwidth on those computers, okay? And I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
So moved. We stand adjourned.